Micaela Passeri, with over 20 years of experience building 6- and 7-figure businesses. Micaela puts her business degree experience and many certifications to use, reprogramming purpose-driven entrepreneurs' emotional money stories so that they can open their hearts to more financial abundance with strategic monetization and sales structure implementation. She uses her proprietary technique of marrying business ROI planning with emotional subconscious release work. In essence, her clients transform into emotional ninjas, from stuck and stagnant and unfulfilled to happy, liberated, hopeful, and healed. Micaela firmly believes that business success is directly tied to an individual's ability to free themselves from the emotional ties of the past. Their emotional intelligence level and their ability to manage their emotions in all areas of life is the best predictor of their income, success, and expansion. Welcome back, Micaela. Woohoo!
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bettina. Thanks for having me. Good morning, everybody. I'm actually in Florence, Italy, so it's evening for me. And I had started cooking dinner before coming here. Bettina, remind me, how much time do I have?
20 minutes.
Okay, great. So as Bettina said, I firmly believe that our emotionality and how we manage and respond or react to the things that are coming at us throughout the day and throughout the months and the years in our life is the predictor of our level of success and our level of income, what I call income potential. Because we all have the same income potential. It's just about how we manage life, how we manage the emotions that we're constantly experiencing. So I want to kind of set a little bit of the context before I go into why I believe that and how that is so that you can understand. So first and foremost, we're emotional beings. Every single one of us. Doesn't matter who you are, where you were born, what your background is. The minute you're born into this body, you are an emotional being. What does that mean? That means that you are a combination of a body and an energetic frequency that experiences what we call emotions. Emotions are these surge of energy that comes through the body. It's felt by the body. The body has a physical reaction. And then the mind engages. The mind engages and it starts making up a thought, a conversation, a judgment, an idea about that experience. That thought then generates feelings. And those feelings are what then we act upon. I don't know if you've ever heard, and maybe put your little digital hand up if you've ever heard thoughts, feelings, and actions, right? Those are, that is the way, it's the cognitive cycle. But modern psychology left out the emotions. So it's really emotions, thoughts, feelings, and actions. And why do I say that? Because emotions are what generates the thought about the experience. The experience generates the feeling about that experience. The feeling will generate the action or the non-action about what you're experiencing. And then at the end, that's what generates your results. So if you really want to look at why you are generating the results in your business or in your life that you are, you got to trace it back to your emotion. That is the starting point. So you say, okay, well, I mean, that seems like kind of a lot of work, right? If I got to sit there and analyze myself on a regular basis. Yeah, it's called introspection. And introspection is what allows you to really know yourself better. When you know yourself better, you can understand yourself better. And when you understand yourself better, you can manage yourself better. And then when you manage yourself better, you can actually strategically create and manifest the thing that you want. And that's the foundation of emotional intelligence. We start at having an awareness of an experience that we're having, an emotion that's rising up. We then go to understand that emotion. That's the introspection part. When we understand it and we understand like what the root causes and why we're thinking the way that we're thinking and why we're behaving the way that we're behaving, and I'll relate it to business in a minute, then we can actually start managing ourselves, right? So example, you're in the middle of a sales call, enrollment conversation, pitch, whatever you want to call it. And all of a sudden, you start noticing that there's these limiting thoughts. Oh, oops, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, oops, I shouldn't say that. But oh, they're gonna judge me. They're gonna, reject me, or they're gonna tell me that I'm being salesy. Whatever the excuse is, but the mind starts chattering at you. Once it starts chattering at you, then you start feeling feelings, right? And the feelings of maybe not enough, or the feeling of not being capable of taking through that client to the sale, whatever it is. And then you take an action. That action could be is that you don't respond to the obstacles that are coming up in that sales call, right? And we all know that when we were looking at sales, the people who are most successful in sales is when they're able to respond and navigate through the challenges and the objections that come up during a sales conversation. But if you're sabotaging yourself at the start, right, then what happens? That phone call, that meeting doesn't result in a sale. So that's how it can relate in a business aspect, right? And I'm picking sales because, look, if you're not making sales, you don't have a business. So sales is the life force of your business. I don't care what business you're in, even if you're a nonprofit, you got to sell, right? You're either selling your mission and your vision, right? Or you're selling a product or service. So I like to use sales as an example because that's what we get to do as entrepreneurs. We get to sell. So when you are in those instances in your business, whether it's a sales conversation, whether it's maybe a conversation with an associate, with an employee, with a potential joint venture partner, you name it, you want to observe yourself and you want to understand why certain things are coming up and how those are going to affect you in your action taking, in your decision making. So if we understand this, right, and let me go back to the 4 corners of emotional intelligence, which is, first you become aware, then you start identifying what the emotion is that's coming up, then you start understanding it, right? Once you understand it, then you can manage it. When you manage it, then you can actually manipulate is the word, but not in a negative way. You start strategizing. That's maybe a better word. You can then start strategizing your response, right? You start strategizing your response so that then you can get the result that you want or get closer to the result that you want, right? So that's actually what happens in a lot of sales conversations. When you are navigating what's coming up for the client or the potential client as it relates to the sales, you are actually strategically responding to those obstacles with the idea to lead your client, your potential client, to a yes, to purchasing your product or service, right? Or to donating to your cause. I'm going to use an example of Bettina. She's part of Global Woman. I'm the director of Global Woman Club in Los Angeles. And, we come together, we create community in a marketplace. But one time, Bettina really got to enroll us into donating to her cause. She had to say something. She had to do something. She had to step out of her comfort zone and actually talk about certain things that maybe were uncomfortable for her. But she had to do that and get over whatever maybe obstacle she was feeling at the beginning and expose herself so that she could enroll us into donating to the family in Africa. And that's just an example, right? But it's the same thing in sales. So when we're looking at how we're doing in our business and you look at your results, there is an emotional tie. There is a root causal emotion that is preventing you to get to those results. It's preventing you by taking action. It's maybe preventing you by delaying. It's maybe preventing you by having doubts, by maybe steering you down a longer path to get there, whatever that is, right? So emotional intelligence and introspection is absolutely a must for each and every one of you as an entrepreneur, of all of the entrepreneurs really in the world, to really understand how to how to be and do better, how to lead better in your business, but also how to serve your clients better. Because if you're showing up more empowered, if you're showing up more confident, if you're showing up more connected to your why and to the mode that you're going to get there, the client will feel that. The client will feel and understand you better, right? And understand that, oh, you know what? That's what I need. That product, service, or that's really what I want to contribute to, or that's the company that I want to associate myself with, right? It is all enveloped around the emotionality also of the clients, right? It's part of that relationship building. So when you are looking at your business and you say, okay, I've been at this for a while, I'm not where I want to be, that means that there's something that's holding you back from raising your income potential. So the income potential, what I define as income potential, is that next level of income that you can produce. It's going beyond that glass ceiling, which is a word that Bettina uses a lot in this arena, in this community. So it's really going beyond that glass ceiling and going to that next step. And you can get there, you can only get there by really understanding how and why you're creating the results that you are, and you're not creating the results that you want. And once you're there, then you can apply strategy. You can apply strategy on really fixing that thing, or stop doing the thing that's holding you in that place. I hope that all makes sense. So when we're looking at, okay, well, what could be the causes of me holding me back? There's really three emotions that get in the way. First emotion is the emotion of not feeling good enough, the unworthiness. That holds us back because it puts us into doubt, to self-doubt. It makes us not take action and put aside things that maybe we could be doing in our business that could be rendering the results that we want. Number two is failure. We've all failed in our businesses and in our lives, and we've all experienced that. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good because it hurts our pride. It tags us there, and we don't want to go there again. And because we are emotional beings, and pride is a very sticky emotion because it's connected with the ego, right? You're being tagged in the ego, and the ego wants to be pompous, wants to feel good, wants to know it all, wants to be right all the time, right? So when you are hooked into the emotion of failure, it's the ego really ruling you, and it's trying to avoid you to feel that embarrassment, shame, whatever it felt around past failure. And then the number one emotion is fear. And there's all sorts of fears, right? Fear is really what gets in the way, because why? It either freezes us, so it prevents us from taking action, or it confuses us. And it makes things up in our mind that aren't really real. They aren't really true. In fact, the acronym, which I'm sure you've heard, for fear is false evidence appearing real. When you are afraid in your business to take some action, to say certain thing, to put yourself out there, to do something that's going to move your business forward, you're actually doing so because you're thinking that there's a consequence that's going to be real for you. And unless you're in a life or death situation, there's nothing to be afraid of. And you get to go through the fear. You get to really be courageous. And that's really where everything starts. When you get to courage, that is where everything starts. It opens up, things open up, possibilities open up, miracles happen when you get to courage. And that is really the emotion and the frequency that you want to be in. In fact, there was a quantum physicist by the name of David Hawkins. If you're at all interested in looking him up, you can look him up on YouTube. There's all sorts of videos of him and lectures and things like that when he was alive. But he studied subconscious and human emotions, and he created a scale. It's called the David Hawkins consciousness scale. And he measured these emotions. And what he measured was that fear, shame, grief, anger, pride, the bad pride, not the good pride, are all vibrating below 200. That frequency is a very low frequency, because The highest enlightenment is at 1,000. So if we're vibrating below 200 and we want to create and we want to get in the flow, and by the way, the flow vibrates at love frequency, which is about 500 frequency. If we're vibrating below, we're vibrating at 100 in anger, at 150 in fear, 175 in pride. Guess what we're creating? We're creating a match, an energetic match for that. So that's why we're not generating the things that we want, because the things that we want are beyond our fear, beyond our limitations. So when we are vibrating at a higher frequency, that's where you get to raise your income potential and tap into the higher income earning ability that everyone has. When you get to that higher place, that's where then, six figures, multiple six figures, seven figures, fulfillment, satisfaction, that's where that all is. But guess what you get to go through? You get to go through the frequency of 200, and 200 is courage. So you get to tap into your courage. You get to self-introspect and understand really what is holding me back. What am I really afraid of? Because I guarantee you there's somewhere in your business that you are stopping or holding back because of fear. Now, I know my time is about up, so I'm going to just close it out. Going through fear, getting to courage, surpassing courage, that is how we get to manifest our true life's purpose and desire. And I want to give everybody an opportunity to really dig deep. If any of this calls you, if it resonates with you, I'm actually doing a virtual live event, April 13th, 14th, and 15th. It's a 3-day live event. It is a deep dive. It is a working event. It's not just talking heads. It's me teaching, giving you exercises, taking you through. Day 1 will be looking at the subconscious, doing some reprogramming there. Day 2 will be looking at your business, and doing some strategy, seeing what might be missing. What is that one thing that you could do to actually move the needle forward? And day 3 is actually implementing. Yes, we are going to implement it. We're going to create a marketplace and we're going to work together to actually create some results in your business. If this interests you and calls you, I'm going to put the link in the chat. My event is called The Money Breakthrough. And yes, you will have a money breakthrough. So if you want to attend, I'm going to put it right here. Again, April 13th, 14th, and 15th. It is a value of $2,000, but it's only $197. So if this at all speaks to you, I would love to see you there. Come and have a money breakthrough with me. There's nothing like this out there. Nobody matches and meshes together business strategy with subconscious mind release and emotional intelligence. So love to support you there. Come on April 13th. Thanks so much for having me again, Bettina.